Let's see. Training readiness, low. It's good. Sleep was all right. Watch says about 43 hours to recover. So, ready to go. Oh gosh.
How does legs feel?
I mean, good in the elite twos.
Coming off a double day?
Coming off a double day, yeah. Coming off of morning session yesterday, 5 by mile, 532, 4 by 150. 150 is at like 22, 23. And PM, we had hills. Yesterday's hills were a little bit better though. So there's two different hill days. We got one where there's 40 seconds on, 1 minute off, and another where it's 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off, but much faster. So yesterday was the 20 on, 40 off at 9.5 incline and 12 speed. So like 5-minute pace. Chews you up a little. It's actually crazy how good these shoes feel, bro. Yeah, they're just so comfortable. So bouncy. It's nice because we get to pick up Clay for a loop.
I mean, my legs are tired.
How are your hills?
Terrible. It's just like,
See my TikTok?
yeah. I was like,
I was laying there like, you know, you're like hitting your feet back.
on the camera. Oh, what's up, bro? I think I'm there. You feel bad right now? Well, my legs are just cheap. Is it like 100% humidity? Yeah.
Oh, we have the serious match shirt.
Yeah. Matching.
Serious mesh. Highly breathable.
Oh, it's kind of starting to blend.
Eventually it just starts to
Yeah.
all turn one shade.
We just finished the morning run. My allergies are cooked right now. Eyes itch so bad. Throat itches, nose running. And yeah, it's horrible. But I'm gonna try to hit one of these liters before I get in the shower. Put some electrolytes in it. Salt, magnesium, potassium. Mixed berry. It's a faint flavor. It's not like overpowering. Clay got a new machine for the office. Let me show it to you if I can figure out how to work this camera. This is what he calls his bread and butter, I guess. It's a post-bed sewing machine. So he can do leather on it. He can do shoes on it. There's this one, and we have this one. 3D printer. Another 3D printer. Coming along nicely. I'm gonna get showered. Start cooking breakfast. And lunch, I guess. And yeah. Shaping up to be a good one. So this video is going to be slightly different than the other stuff. I just got this new DJI Pocket Osmo 3, and this is going to be my first time using it. I think it'd be interesting to talk about the current tariff situation. You know, it's not insanely easy to shift manufacturing around kind of at the drop of a hat, which is how policy decision was made. And I guess I just want to talk about it from the perspective of us, how we're managing it, and maybe give some insight into our process, right? A lot of our performance athletic wear is made in China. I think a common misconception that low quality products come out of China. Something I wish the consumer knew more about, but you know, it's not really on the consumer to educate themselves. It's kind of on us to help educate the consumer. So one of the main reasons you get low quality products out of China is that the companies producing are choosing the lowest quality manufacturing techniques, lowest quality raw material inputs, etc. So when you put shit in, you get shit out. It's kind of just how it is. The other thing I want to point out is like China is a manufacturing economy. The US has kind of shifted to be a service-based economy. You know, we're kind of lucky to be in that situation. So when you hear the argument that people should just onshore all of their manufacturing, it's hard, right? It's hard to do so at the drop of a hat when the manufacturing doesn't exist here because there has been no incentive to do that manufacturing here. So there's nothing in place, right? The latest and greatest from a technological standpoint in garment production exists in China because there's reason for those businesses and those manufacturers to invest in that equipment. That equipment's expensive, right? Here, if nothing's being made here in the US, there's no reason for that equipment to exist here and for manufacturers here, especially the smaller scale manufacturers, to invest in that equipment because there will be no return on that investment if nobody's making anything through them. I think it's this delicate balance of misunderstandings across the board, but also you have to live in reality, and the reality as it currently stands is that there's, I think, 148% tariff on Chinese goods coming in the US, which it is what it is. Luckily for us, we have a great manufacturing partner. They have capabilities all over the world. So shifting supply chain manufacturing hasn't been that difficult. But I think for the consumer, I'll just kind of show an example, some math about what the tariff kind of does to a product cost for a basic hoodie coming out of China. This is a bit of a side note just for, I guess, the vlog. The lighting in our studio is a bit interesting, right? We have really cool natural light. Comes through these big windows here. We even have a window over there. When the light goes down, the lighting gets pretty bad. And it makes seeing products and colors and everything kind of hard. This is what we're working with on lights. These super small lights. And there's only 8 of them. In that light right there, I replaced the bulb, this, because people on the internet told me we needed some better bulbs. This bulb is in that can right there, the one that's not lit up. So we're gonna see if it looks any different from any of those existing ones. Oh, it's definitely way brighter. It's not great, but I guess it's a little bit better than it was. So I'll have to get up on the ladder and replace all the other ones. I really prefer not to fall off this ladder. I will get back to the tariffs in a second. Let's see what kind of difference that makes. I'm going to the wrong outlet. All right. Cool. Well, I got more of them to replace, but I'm not gonna put you through all that. So unfortunately, I've tried to record this 3 times now with my just like screen. I'm gonna have to film this facing the monitor, and it's gonna have to work because the screen recording is not working, so I apologize. But let's run through this, okay? This is an example of a shipment pre-tariff on a $50 hoodie. So that $50 would mean That's what it cost your factory to produce that hoodie. And by the time it lands in the United States, it has these duties and fees, tariffs, duties, fees tacked on. You get the MFN customs duty, which is the most favorable nations duty. Essentially, all that means is it ensures a country treats all of its trading partners equally when it comes to tariffs. So anybody that has MFN status, if a country grants a lower tariff to one country, it applies that same reduced tariff to all other countries with the same MFN status. Not super important, but I figured I'd give some context. It's at 16.5%. You have the Section 301 tariff at 7.5%. That was applied, I think, in the 70s to China to combat unfair trade practices and protect U.S. companies and workers from those practices. That brings your total customs and duties to 24%. So how does that work out in the grand scheme of things? How does that work out in the math? You have a $50 hoodie as it leaves the factory. By the time it gets released from customs and on its way to your warehouse, you tack on another $12. Now, the landed cost would be $62. This doesn't include shipping or any of the other, random fees that aren't applicable to this specific example. I'm just trying to give people an understanding of how these tariffs and duties affect the cost of a garment. So it comes out the factory at $50, it ends up landing in your warehouse, let's say $62. Pan over here to a post April 9th world where we're dealing with new tariffs on these goods, and your product still leaves the factory at $50, right? Now you get this reciprocal country-specific tariff to China, which is 145%. That's, everything you've been hearing about in the news. You still pay the MFN customs duty at 16.5%, as well as the Section 301 duty at 7.5%. So now you're getting this additional reciprocal tariff charge, which is $72.50, bringing your total customs to $84.50, plus your $50 to manufacture the hoodie. Your hoodie now lands in your warehouse at $134.50. I think it's fairly easy to see, this number is before retail pricing. So what does a company do? Let's say that back here we were charging $100 for a hoodie and you had, $38 to pay salary, take care of operational expenses that the business has. Here, you charge that same $100 and you are now losing money. $34.50 per hoodie that you sell on top of all the operational expenses that the business has.
I understand it because I live in this world, and this is kind of the stuff I deal with on a daily basis. If I was just a customer that wasn't in the weeds with this stuff every single day, I probably wouldn't look much into it or really understand or bother to understand how this stuff kind of affects the things that we either consume or see in our everyday lives. That being said, I think business is a game of longevity, and it's almost like an endurance match. You're going to be continuously tested every single day, and it's kind of a matter of how you adapt and ultimately survive. So that's kind of the tariffs, and I think anybody who has a business, who does business with China in general, is dealing with the same exact stuff and trying to figure it out. The reality of the situation is that you can't change it, and you have to live in the present and deal with what's in front of you, and make decisions based on the information and the reality that you're given. I kind of like talking about this stuff. I enjoy recording videos like this. I don't know if people want to watch this stuff. So if it is something that was interesting or you got any use out of it, feel free to let me